guys, welcome back to the Creative Hub. We are here with Caitlin Henning, the Boise Socialite. Pleasure to have you on. So, like I said before, the purpose of this podcast, guys, if you are entrepreneurs, you're small business owners, creatives, marketers, you name it, this is all for you guys. We basically bring on the best of the best, especially here locally, to talk about the things that not many people talk about and not many people do really well, especially within the realm of marketing. I've talked about it before. A lot of marketing companies, I mean, first of all, marketing as a whole is a very broad term. Yeah. Like there's so many different realms underneath it. There's organic, there's paid, there's the content, there's distribution, there's campaigns, email, prints, you name it, right? It goes on. So, so I wanted to bring you on first, and I wanted to first have you introduce yourself. Tell us more about what you do, how you became the Boise Socialite, how the legend came about. So tell me about your background.
Thank you so much for having me. So I'm the Boise Socialite. So, I'm actually not from here. I'm from California, but don't throw potatoes at me. So I've actually lived in Idaho, California, and Washington, kind of off and on. But Boise is definitely home. And what I found actually to kind of become Boise Socialite was my fiance and I, we went out like a lot because we don't have kids. We literally have fur babies, and so we love to go out and do things. So we would go out to eat and drink and shop, do all these different things, and I just found myself sort of highlighting what I was doing. And then the pandemic happened, and basically there were so many of these small businesses that like needed help, and they're like, hey, like if you could support us, whether it's getting like takeout service or swinging by to get like a cocktail or buy gift cards. So I actually found myself promoting even more and then partnering up with other local businesses to be able to kind of help grow that. And it just kind of launched from there. And so now it's cool to hear that people say, oh my gosh, you influenced me. And I tried out 830 Commons the other day, and so it's been really neat on that front.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me when you kind of first got into the realm of marketing to begin with.
Good question. So, I would say technically 2009, I actually lived in California. I worked at a solar company. And I was just really lucky to kind of ask to be able to start taking stuff on. And so they had a marketing department there, and it was just kind of a small team, but I just started kind of throwing different ideas out there. I started helping actually design our back-end CRM. I started helping basically every department, and then, putting events together and created like their first like Facebook page and LinkedIn, and they just kind of let me roll with it. So I guess since I was about 19, I had the opportunity, and it's just every position I've actually gotten since then has basically come into because I guess I was known on social media or grew on social media. And so people were either recruiting me from LinkedIn or reaching out to me or saying, oh, I know you because I've seen you market here or there, or just from other, I guess, connections of social media, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and so you don't have a formal education.
No, I always love talking about that too, because I think it's great to like go to college, and I think it's like rock and roll if you want to, like that's so wonderful. I went to college, I think I was like 22 for like a semester and a half while working like 2 jobs like a crazy person, and I actually tell everybody that I think that you could just find mentors. I've had a mentor
100%.
Since I was 19, and they've all changed. They've been male, female, they've been in different roles, and every time I just want to find someone who's better at whatever I want to do and learn from them. And then YouTube, man, like Google is your best friend. People always say like, Caitlin, you're a wizard. And I'm like, I just know how to Google it really well.
Yeah.
So
I know how to watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's
kind of
basically it. And I will sit there and I will rabbit hole and I will figure stuff out just because I like love technology and social media.
Dude, it's crazy because Elon Musk said it actually in an interview. I can't remember which one it was, but he was basically saying, I think they asked the question, do you need a formal education? Do you need a degree? And he was like, dude, you can learn anything on YouTube.
Anything at all.
Anything. And that's coming from the richest man on the planet, right? Now, obviously, there's some.
If you're a doctor, please get an education.
Please get a degree.
Yes,
you kind of need
a
that.
lawyer.
But for the most part, like especially if you want to be a business owner, if you want to do anything in like marketing, or most of them, you can just figure it out.
You
right?
really can, and find someone who's better at it.
Exactly. That's the key, right? And like you said before, mentors that's everything. Finding a mentor, like multiple, honestly. And that kind of bleeds in a conversation I have with everybody. I think we've talked about it. We've touched on it in every podcast I've done so far, which is like your circle and how your circle is so huge, and surrounding yourself with the right people and ensuring that they're the right people. So let me ask you this. When it comes to circle of influence, or I'm trying not to hopscotch too much, but when it comes to circle of influence, you're somebody I feel like that prioritizes that. Like you're careful with who you hang out with and who you invite into your life. So let me ask you, I guess, what are some of the qualities or qualifications of you deciding whether or not you're going to be close with somebody?
I'm going to get some good applications later off of this. So,
yeah, that's the goal.
Actually, I would say I really started focusing on this as I came into my 30s. I feel like I was very I'm very empathetic, and I just kind of take anybody on as a friend, and I love really, really hard, and I know this is a downfall for me.
I can see that about you, yeah.
Yeah, and I've actually had multiple mentors to me be like, stop focusing on everything you can't control, and then also, why are you worrying about this person's opinion? They're not like your fiance, they're not your best friend. Like, just basically just starting to surround myself with the best. And so this, like, I would say probably last 2 years-ish, I focused really hard on that. So really, one is I feel like, I don't know what the word would be for it, but they can't like really aggressively hold me to a standard. They can't, like, as a friend, I don't want that person being like, well, you never text me back, or you never do this. Or like, I think when I meet someone, I'm like, you're going to get all my attention and all my love that I could possibly give you. I'm going to be a great friend to you. But if I don't text you back, don't get mad at me.
Yeah.
And I was around people that would make me feel awful all the time and not enough, or I would let them down and all these things. So anyways, I would just say something like that would be major. And then I guess just in general, just like respecting my time, respecting, what it is that I do. And especially with work, I work a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, that's kind of right now, I feel like I have the best like women and men surrounding me right now. Like, they are my number one fan. They are totally cool. Like, if I don't get back to them for a week and a half, they're like, hey, I'll just text her again. And also just, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm surrounded by people that are, just really, really like successful or love what it is that they do. And I think it's hard to be around people who hate their job, who are super negative all the time.
Draining.
It's exhausting.
Like, it drains you, honestly. How much of an impact do you think that has, your circle? Like, for example, what do you think you would be right now if you kind of had the same friends you did before when you were younger versus where you're at now? How much of an impact does that cause on your professional and personal life?
That's like such a great question. I feel like I would be a mess for one, but two, I just started my own company. Like, I would never have done that. I would never have done that a few years ago.
Oh, so starting a company, period. You don't
literally,
think you would have done it.
I've had my LLC for quite some time, and I finally was like, I can jump on this. My friends were practically were like, girl, we've been waiting for this. Like, you're amazing. Like, you got to do this.
Yeah.
So, so it's definitely, without the circle of friends that I have right now, I would not be where I'm at, even emotionally and mentally.
Oh, for sure.
So,
100%. I didn't realize how powerful that really was until I actually started, so I moved out here like a year and a half ago-ish. And I knew nobody, not a single person.
You started fresh.
Yeah, I started fresh, like from ground zero. No clientele, no experience having my own company. Everything was brand new, so I had to figure it out, right? But everything shifted and everything changed for me as soon as I found those people. You know what I mean? Like, when I found those people, everything was
at
for the
that
better.
moment where you're like, did we just become best friends?
Oh, 100%.
When you were around them?
That was me and Jordan. That was 100%.
Yes.
I met Jordan and like,
I
dude,
can see that, yeah.
hit it off right away. It was hilarious.
besties.
He's like my best friend. We've known each other for, I think, like 6 or 7 months, maybe.
Yeah, time isn't really much of a thing. I feel like it's as you even get older and grow, you start realizing it's like a respect thing. It's okay.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
and we vibe on a lot of things, and the creativity side of it. Oh my gosh, if you two are like amazing to just go through. I bet you guys just like feed each other. So just,
he's really good at what he does. Like, he's very creative, and I think too the biggest thing I've noticed is like the people that I am friends with and I'm closest with, and they'll say the same thing about me, are the people that go out of their way all the time for me. Yeah. Like, Jordan is always like, I'm helping him out, whether it's like passing him referrals or I'm helping him on jobs, giving advice, mentoring, whatever. But he does the same thing for me. He's like, hey, bro, like, he will literally come to me one day and be like, hey, bro, what can I help you out with? Like, can I give you a hand with anything? I'm like, dude, people don't do that. Like, friends don't do that. Those are the people you want in your life, for sure. Yep. So let's transition a little bit, because I want to talk a lot about marketing. And I think this specific show, this podcast right here, could be really good for those fresh business owners that are just starting and they're trying to figure out the whole marketing game, right? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I think the bottleneck for most people is marketing, right? If people could figure out marketing, pretty much for the generalizing here, everybody be successful, right? For the most part. Dude, everybody has great processes. Everybody has great service, products, you name it. It's really the marketing, like getting their names out there and really effectively separating themselves from anybody else. So, first of all, kind of lay out for me, what exactly do you do? What are your services that you offer? Let's start there.
I love that. Okay. And gosh, I totally agree, by the way. You really could have the most like kick-ass product on the planet, but if you don't know how to market it, word of mouth really only goes like so far.
Exactly.
So I run a social media management company. Say that 5 times fast. And so I do management. I also help with coaching. So I've been doing training and coaching for I guess technically in a sales role for probably about 5 or 6 years now. And just in general, like classes and coaching people even across the United States, which has been really neat, of just like friends and people that I've met. So I do one-on-one coaching and then courses. I'm actually going to start implementing those. That's down the road. And
Which you definitely need to be doing that.
I know. I'm
That's
so
a
excited.
great idea. Yeah, I've been going so deep into course creation right now.
That would be amazing for you to do. Oh my God.
Oh yeah, we're already doing it. Like I've got 2
heck
major
yes.
clients that we're currently creating full courses for, which is insane. One of them is crypto and NFT course. The other one, is big fitness course. Shout out Chris Gethin. Awesome people.
Plug.
And then and then Nicole Arbor is a great client of mine as well. Privilege of working with great people. But in that space, the info, the e-learning space is massive, and I think it's one of, if not the fastest growing industry right now. It's insane because people crave that higher learning, but not as expensive as college, but also not as cheap as like going YouTube, right?
Yeah, just going straight to
like
YouTube
being able to spend a couple grand and get everything you need to know about a specific thing taught by somebody who's actually done it and is very successful at it.
That's also a key. Yeah, making sure they've already been able to do it.
Not going to college and studying entrepreneurship and being taught by a professor that's never built a business before. You know what I mean?
Very true.
Like that's which is actually the reason why I left college. It's so funny. I remember when I was in high school and so my GPA, cumulative GPA in high school was a 2.3 when I graduated.
They always say the successful ones don't have those straight A's. It's okay.
It's not so great, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There's a reason behind that, right? And there's studies that go out there that are like, I think the average GPA of the most successful entrepreneurs, I think was like 2.1 is what it was. Gary Vaynerchuk has his high school diploma framed and on his wall, and it was like a 1.2.
Stop.
He literally has it framed on his wall, basically
him.
as like an FU. Just
Yeah,
pointing at
just
it. I think
by
it's
the
great.
way,
Now I will say there's a lot of people that are like, they use it as an excuse when in fact they're just fucking lazy. You know?
Like, God, to a T. It's also very true.
And you know who you are when that's the case.
Yeah.
But and I think the reason is like, because when I was in high school, I aced my tests, but I didn't do any of the homework. I was busy doing other stuff.
Too.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like I was smart. I was able to get stuff. I didn't do the homework. I didn't put the work in. I just didn't care, right?
Yeah.
And I don't
You
really.
were creative, so like that's.
Yeah, and I don't know where I was going with this, but I was
That's
just
okay.
saying that, like,
No, it's we were talking about education, and I think what you're saying is so many.
Oh, the e-learning space. Yeah, it's huge. It's blowing up right now because it's perfect. Like you can learn from the most important factor, which is learning from somebody who's actually done it, who actually knows how to make a lot of money doing it. So their credentials are there, and it's affordable. And dude, you can literally spend. I spent $500 on this course called the Real Deal Video Strategy Club. Another plug for you guys. They're amazing group. I learned everything that I know and apply from that group, and now I
now
like 350x'd my return. You know what I mean? Like
to a T.
It's insane. College cannot do that. College. I'll say this because I don't really care, and it's the truth. College breeds workers.
Yep.
College does not mold and forge entrepreneurs. It just doesn't, right? It's an incubator for laborers. And there's nothing wrong with that by any means. Like, if you want to do that,
we still need that
by
for
all means,
sure.
right?
Yeah,
by all means. But for those people that know, like, I'm going to own a business. I don't know. I might not know what it is yet, but you're going to do something in that realm.
Yeah.
Don't go to college.
Unless I was gonna say, really, like, it would have to be so specific, of some sort of like education.
Like I go to a
towards
trade
it, but,
school,
Yeah, but I agree entirely. Like, it's not. Like, I remember even going to college and I'm just like, this is not what I want to be learning, but I know that it was, necessary to get to the next steps.
Especially when you're paying for it and stuff too.
Oh, I know. Gosh, I love paying off student debt. It's really fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Woo, welcome to adulthood.
So talking about that, right? We know about what you do. So you focus a lot more on the organic side of social media, right? Organic growth. Which is great and it's so important.
Yeah.
I think that's one of, if not the hard, this is, up for debate. One of, if not the hardest aspects of marketing is growing organically on your social accounts. But that's the most lucrative way to grow your business. And that's really what you kind of got to do nowadays because we live in the digital realm, whether you believe it or not, whether you're like 50 years old and you're like, oh, I'm going to keep networking. No, you need to figure it out at some point or another. Right?
Some platform, maybe two.
So it's super important. That's your specialty, right? That's your forte.
Yeah.
Organic
I
growth.
wish I could get more into the paid stuff. It's not like, it just wasn't my vibe. It wasn't something I like loved learning either.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to lean more into that.
They are two totally different, very different realms.
Yeah.
I think your persona, your personality kind of has to, like, your personality all day long, you need
I
to go
know.
organic, right? Like, I don't think paid is
Screaming
your
extrovert.
thing, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, no, for sure. I 100% agree with that. And honestly, that's what I want to get more involved with, because my background is more so on the paid side and the large scale video production side, right? I'm learning so much though about the organic side of things and how to grow organically. We're actually doing a lot more micro content for clients instead of doing like bigger budget stuff with paid campaigns, which every industry is different, right? Like e-com stuff, that's, selling products, you got to go paid advertising like you have to. But local brands, service brands, for example, real estate agents, where your market is locally and people need to know about who you are and what you do. You got to be consistent with your social media. You've got to figure out your niche. You got to figure out what makes you different. And you got to get out there. Paid ads can work, but it's a lot more lucrative to just play the long game, stay consistent in social media, make good content, and just get it out there, right?
Oh gosh, yeah. And build those relationships. I mean, like, that's probably the biggest thing that I've even found. And I have notes on it too here, is just saying that like you will be able to get business if you start building that relationship. I mean, you can even look at like TikTokers, right? We all sort of started like subscribing to these people and watching their stuff. And it's because we like really enjoyed them. We felt like we knew them, you know? And it's the same even like here, locally. And I've found that myself. And like you said, even with real estate agents, is you're starting to build this. It's not a faux relationship. It's real, but it's still like you're building it online. And then it's exciting when you meet in person like us, right? And that's a
great way to put it too, is you're building a relationship with all these people, right? I think most people think they have to, I think most people think they have to post consistent just to check the box. Like, oh, I got to post today. What am I going to do? You know what I mean? When in reality, every single thing you post has to have a purpose behind it. There has to be a reason why you're posting it. It has to be engaging to people. It has to be different. And like, I get it, because most of these people do it themselves because they might not be positioned to hire somebody to do it themselves, which it's a hard spot to be in, because that's it's a whole other job. Honestly, it's a whole job. I know
people are always like, that's a lot of work, and I'm like, tell me about it. I'm figuring my own systems out, but it's so true. 100%. And
so I guess my question for you is, what would you say? Let's say the person watching this right now, they're a small business owner, right? Whether they are their own brand themselves, they're a real estate agent, or they're trying to build a brick and mortar shop here in the Valley, whatever. Let's say macro level speaking. They're still fresh. They're in the networking phase right now, trying to get their name out there. They're not super well known yet. What would you recommend in terms of marketing their brand they need to figure out first, or they need to start working on?
So a lot of the times when I meet with people, it really doesn't matter like what, I guess, realm they're in, is kind of finding like pain points and like education points. And so that's really would be like, if it's...
Put those up on the screen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. If it's like real estate, you're like, okay, well, a lot of people really don't you usually have to assume they really don't know much about real estate. Even if you bought one house or two houses, you've probably only sold one or two houses. And even then, when's the last time you did it? Right. So there's still so much to educate on. So I tell people like, try to find those pain points and what's something people actually want to hear or learn about, right? And then video. And I cannot stress it enough. And I've taught so many classes on this, whether it's reels or just basic video or stories. That is exactly what we're talking about, building that community. And I've said it to you, and I'll say it honestly till I'm like blue in the face, that the brain does not know the difference between seeing you in person and seeing you on video. And that is why it is such a thing where we see them and we see your daily stories. And then when you meet them and you recognize their voice, like their mannerisms.
You feel like you know them.
You feel like you know them. And it's such an incredible thing. And so anybody can literally do video, as simple as our phones are just wicked technology already, right?
Especially
with
the
filming.
Cameras on here now, like it's insane.
Yeah, chef's kiss, amazing, right? And then lighting, it's like anybody can get a little ring light. I mean, you can go on Amazon, you can go to Target. It could be beautiful lighting outside. Obviously, like the sound quality, like there's little mics you can get or get into your car. There's so many ways of filming videos, and even like you said, going through like a course or whatever. I literally cannot stress video enough. Like you can do posts, you can do pictures. Just video is not going away. Obviously, like Instagram shifted significantly.
Yep.
And just saying that it's not just a photo sharing app anymore. It's video. So it's not going away. And I think that we're all getting more. It doesn't matter really, I feel like, what age group you're in either. Like my grandma can film a video, you can film a video.
Yeah.
So.
And on that, you're totally right. So for those who don't know, Instagram was obviously founded as a photo platform, right?
Yes.
Photo sharing. They are very quickly and kind of already have shifted to a primarily video platform.
Yep.
So for those who jump on the video game quicker and do it now rather than later are going to get that head start.
Mm-hmm.
Video's the way, guys. And like, I'm not just saying that because I'm biased and it's my job.
Right.
Like,
You're like, because I kind of like it.
yeah, like that's also the reason I do it is because it's so powerful. It's because it works and it works really well, and it's not going away. If anything, it's only going to become more and more beneficial and more of a necessity. You guys, you have to be doing video. Why do you think so many people? Okay, here's the thing. I think a lot of people understand they need to be doing video, right?
Yes.
In theory, it's very simple. Get in front of the camera, come up with a cool idea, film something, and then post it, right? In execution, it's so hard for people. Why do you think so many people have such a hard time making videos and just posting it? Like, why? What's the?
And I think that you and I, we even like touched on this before when we were talking of just like there's that imposter syndrome and there's like that scared feeling of like I'm gonna fail. And I swear I need to find the first video I did of my first vlog of me literally taking my like iPhone, I don't know, like 6 basically, putting it in a pencil holder, and I had a stapler behind it and a pencil in the front, faced up at the most unattractive angle on the entire planet with the worst lighting and a bright green wall behind me. And every time I was editing it, you could see me touching the screen and like trying to chop it up. And it was just the worst video, but we did it. And literally started this just silly vlog series that it got better and better and better as we got like better technology. But we were so scared in the beginning of failing and not producing great quality like content, which nowadays, I mean, it's obviously very important. Like what you do is extremely important, but it's become more and more popular as well, that you could start posting the not super fancy videos. You know, those are your reels, your TikToks, and your stories.
No, if anything,
right?
those are probably more important. Like
they
like
really are
raw,
massive.
real videos that just aren't edited, that are literally shot on your iPhone. A lot of
Yes.
times perform a lot better than spending much money on a big production.
Yeah,
Like,
and so they've gotten better. And so I would say we're scared of failing. We're scared of putting ourselves out there because of what people are going to think of us, what they're going to say of us, which it's bullshit and it doesn't matter. But we all were terrified. And then like you and I even touched on, and you know, the imposter syndrome of just, well, this person's already doing it better than me, and I'm not going to be as good as that person. Or you're immediately
100%.
comparing yourself, so you're paralyzing yourself, so you're not going to do it.
yeah, people they want us to be perfect, and like keep this in mind too, guys. Like we are our own worst critics all the time. Like in reality, you might make a video and go, "Oh, my hair doesn't look great. The background sucks. The lighting's not good. I should have said this instead of that. Or I tripped over my words. Like, oh, I got oil on my face. Whatever the reason is, right? We find something to nitpick and find reasons why it's not perfect, and we can't post it. When in reality, nobody gives a crap. Nobody's gonna give a shit. Like,
No one's gonna look at it that much either.
Excuse my language, but nobody's gonna care.
Yeah.
What they care about is the content that you're putting out, like the substance of what you're talking about, what they're gonna take away from it. Nobody's looking at your hair. Nobody's looking at like how you look. And I'll be honest with you, if they are, they're not somebody you're speaking to begin with. They're not your audience. So the takeaway here is literally hit record and post it.
I had somebody tell me, I think it was like film like 35 videos like all at once, like keep filming and refilming and refilming. And you'll get to the point where, because we had that natural thing where we don't like to hear the sound of our voice.
Yeah.
You literally like start to like tune it out. So it's not really like a thing. And by the time that you're done filming, whether it's 25, 35, whatever videos, you're like, screw it, I'm just posting it. Like you just mentally get past that and just fall forward and do it.
Yeah.
So.
You guys are literally holding yourself back. And I can say that because I did the same thing.
I was gonna say same.
We all did the same thing, right? Like I can't tell you how many videos I would make and I didn't post it because I found something to pick apart and be like, that's not good enough, I need to redo it, or just completely scrap it.
Yeah.
When in reality, I should have posted it. You know what I mean? So solution, record, post. Like just be consistent with
Just
it,
do
okay?
it, yeah.
Now, let's talk about what makes a good video, right?
Ooh, yeah.
Like what to think about. So I'll start with three
You're the
key
expert
components.
here. Yeah, let's hear this.
I want to hear your input too, because obviously you understand this a lot as well. The three key components of a good video is shareability, relatability, and relevancy, right? Shareability, as in when you're making a video, how likely and keen are the viewers to want to share it with people?
Yes.
Most of the time, like memes, funny stuff that people resonate with, they think it's hilarious, they're going to share it with their friends. Or maybe somebody's having a conversation with somebody about a specific topic and you cover that topic and they're like, oh, we were just talking about this. They send it to a friend, right? So there's shareability. Relevancy. How relevant is the topic, right? Like with real estate agents, when the market, something happens, capitalize on it. For example, we had a really hot market recently. It's cooling down a little bit, but it's still going to be kind of like that for a while.
Yeah.
When it first started, this agent hopped on that relevant concept and made this hilarious video where he was basically like, It was satire in a way, and it was like a little skit.
The Apple one?
It was the Apple one. Yeah,
Oh
that
my
guy.
God, I will never forget that.
It was so funny.
Yes.
And he put it out right at the time when the market was insane.
Yeah.
And everybody thought it was hilarious. I shared it like 5 times.
I still see it. Like, I think it's
everywhere,
hilarious.
yeah.
You got to put that in your show notes. Like, that is.
It's so good. And we'll link that video down below because
Yeah.
it's so funny. But he capitalized on that, I think hit. That hit all 3 of those components. It was relatable because
Yeah.
people going through the home buying process were like, dude, that's literally me right now. That was me. I was buying a home with Arrow,
gosh.
saw the video, sent it to her. We thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's relatable. It's
Yep.
relevant because of the market, how crazy it was, and it's shareable. People
my
share the
gosh.
crap out of it, right?
Yes.
So when you can hit those 3 things,
Yeah.
it's game over. Now, obviously, can't guarantee it's going to go viral, right?
Yeah.
But when you can
Yeah.
hit those 3 components, it's huge. Or try to hit at least one of them. So the shareability, relevancy, and relatability. How much can they relate to what it is you're talking about, right? So that's where it really comes into play. Your ideal customer profile, right? Your dream
Yes.
customer,
Customer avatar.
your customer
and, yeah,
avatar.
There's so many words
That's
for
why
it.
it's so important because when you know who your customer avatar is and who you're speaking to, you can talk directly to that person, which in return is going to allow them to relate to you on a much deeper level.
Yeah,
So
so
customer
true.
avatar, not many people know about that actually, and that's a really important
gosh.
concept. So tell me, what is a customer avatar?
Oh my gosh, there's so many different ways of putting this. And we all have like our different sheets that we've downloaded online and everything. And sometimes you can have 1 profile or 3, but realistically, like say you have 3, maybe you're a realtor and one of them is you really like that first-time home buyer, and you can narrow it down more than just that, right? Like you're like, okay, maybe it's first-time home buyers that's like a fresh couple, or maybe they just got married and they have 2 dogs and they're ideally looking for, like an average home price. They're not really struggling with money, or maybe they are, really depending on, how creative you want to get with financing. And they're going to be looking in the Boise metro area, right? They're not going to be the ones that are looking out in Emmett or like further out, right?
Yeah.
So you can really start narrowing these people down, and you could get down to like the types of jobs that they have, the things they like to do, and it's even better if like, say you love to hike, maybe they're outdoorsy, you can really gear your customer avatar towards those people so that you can obviously relate with them, right? So, and like I said, there's so many different ways of doing this, but you can have more than one so that whenever you do start building out your content, that's really your ideal client of what you're trying to create for. I also have a thing where I tell people to, you can call them pillars, buckets, whatever, of really figuring out as you get your customer avatar, but your things as well. So like mine, like I love to go out to eat and drink, but more than that, like I love food, and I'm a big foodie. We love to shop. We love to travel. We're not like, oh, we're traveling to Cancun, but we love to travel like here locally in cool places. And so, but I really find my main things and I really just don't deter from them. Social media is a thing that I want to educate people on and know about. Like I don't deter away from that. And so having your customer avatar and also knowing your buckets, oh my gosh, it makes just posting and coming up with content significantly
So
easier.
much easier.
You're
And
not trying to
yeah.
be like this person or
Yeah.
come up with something. Yeah.
And you know who you're speaking to with your content as well. It makes it
Exactly.
easier because you know who you're talking to. You know who you're having a conversation with.
Okay, Rich, I have a question for you. How do you properly set a brand standard through video and marketing?
Give me an example of a company that does a good job at setting the standard.
Okay.
And what that standard is.
Yes. So, you can take Lululemon, you can take Nike. These are nicer brands that people obviously expect quality through. But they've had to basically tell their audience and followers, whether it's, putting it on athletes or, people that are working out and actually showing like it's an elite brand.
Yeah. That's a great question. So obviously with, Lululemon, Nike, they dominate their markets right now.
Yeah.
They've been around for a while. They're already in a position where they don't even need a market because everybody already knows who they are. And when you think Lululemon, you already know what their brand standards are like. And you don't have to think or know that because of a video they put out, right?
Yeah.
It's because of constant year over year molding that standard and molding who they are as a brand through the use of their marketing efforts and campaigns
like
and stuff.
reiterating it over and over.
Starting out, smaller brands, basically, a lot of people have they're kind of in a spot right now where they're trying to properly figure out how can we separate ourselves? How can we get out there and have people look at our content and look at us and immediately think those are high standard individuals. They're classy.
Yeah.
They have a standard and they have a product or service that is levels above anybody else.
Yeah.
So let's take Apple, for example. Everybody knows Apple, right?
Yes.
I love examples and anecdotes because they're very easy to understand, right? So we're not thinking or talking metaphorically or anything like that. So with Apple, they call it the golden circle when it comes to their marketing. There is hope I don't butcher this. I remember the layers
Steve
of it.
Jobs
I
is
think
like
it starts
turning
with
in his grave.
it starts with the what, how, and why.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how it goes. Yeah, the what, how, and the why. Most companies, when they market themselves, do it in reverse order, in the wrong order, which is what do we sell, how do we do it, and then why do we do it. 9 times out of 10, they don't touch on why they do it. When in reality, what's going to separate you is flipping that. Advertising why you do what you do, how you do it, and what you offer. For example,
Love that.
most companies, let's say that you're a clothing brand. Your marketing message might be along the lines of, and if you follow the wrong order, which is what, how, and why, most companies, if you're selling apparel, let's say, you come out and you be like, we have the best apparel out there. It's made with the best threads, the best processes. We do it in this way with all of our factories, and we have great workers, and we want to share this quality product with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What, how, don't even really touch on the why. When in reality, what they should be doing is what Apple is doing. Apple's marketing message, and again, they don't really need to do that now, but when they first got it started, this is what separated them from the pack.
Yeah.
They didn't come out and say, we make the best computers, and we do it this way by making them with super intricate processes and making sure that we maintain standards throughout the whole way. We have the best computers. They don't do that. They say, we believe in making innovations and improving people's lives that nobody else is capable of doing.
I love that.
And we happen to make great computers.
Totally sets
Think
a
about
different
that,
standard. Yeah.
Right? So what most people suck at, most people don't understand is they think, what am I selling? And they tell people what they're selling. And then they might talk it up and be like, why is it so great?
Which doesn't feel authentic either.
And so this boils down to coming back to what is your why? And I talk about it all the time. This is not a cliche. This is not something that people need to brush over and just go, what's my why? I do it because, I like helping people.
Yeah.
Like, no. Think
Break that
about
down.
why you're doing what you're doing, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Apple, their mission statement, what they believe in is completely redefining what it means to be an innovator, to their standards and their why is so massive. And then the products themselves just happen to accent that.
Yeah.
Right. And
They
that's
just
why
kinda
people
follow
love the
suit.
products,
Yeah.
right? Because Apple is so different than anybody else. And it's very clear through their marketing messages. So instead, what you should be doing is if you're a clothing brand, don't even talk about the clothes. Talk about the culture and what your mission statement is and why you're making the clothes. Because I'll tell you what, if you just make a clothing brand because you're bored and you're like, I like dope designs on cool T-shirts, you're really not going to get very far.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's not relatable at that point either.
No, it's not. Right? Dude, clothing brands are so saturated to begin with.
Yeah,
Everybody
they
has a
really
clothing
are.
brand. Let's think about Gymshark or Alphalete when it comes to the fitness
Yeah.
realm, right? Why are they so different? Why are they doing such a great job? Most people look at their ads and they'll be like, oh, well, it's just a photo of their clothing and somebody wearing it. Well, again, two things. They are at the point now where they don't really need to.
They've already built that up.
They've already built that reputation.
Yeah.
But when they first started out, it was all about the culture and the mission and why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Which is, again, like, Christian Guzman, you know that dude?
I don't.
Or
It's not a dig at you,
what's
Christian.
her
I'm
name?
sorry.
So Christian Guzman, he's the owner of Alphalete.
Okay.
Him and then the Buff Bunny, the brand Buff Bunny.
I am
what's
not
her
that
name?
athletic. I
think
should.
They're
I promise
very
I
big
go to a
names.
gym, but I pay someone to tell me what to do. So
Totally fine. So
I
they're
love it.
they're really big brands in the fitness realm, right?
Okay.
And they're actually boyfriend girlfriend. They might be married, but Christian Guzman has completely separated himself and set the standard, like the new standard for quality. And their why and why they're doing what they're doing, the culture they have built comes full circle, and then happens to make great products with it. The products don't come first; it's the culture first. So capitalize on that. I think that's a very long answer to your question.
No, but I think it's so smart. And I think it touches on that thing too of like people want to be a part of something. And I think that's also like building that community. Like there are literally, different things that I buy because I'm just like, yeah, like I want to be a part of that. And when you're talking about Gymshark, it's so funny because I know a lot of people that work out, right? And they love it. And it's because they're always posting it and they're just like, got my Gymshark leggings on, and and then they're reposting that and all that jazz. It's just like they want to be a part of that. And I think
and
that's
why
important
Gymshark?
too.
Because if you think about it, in reality, there are so many athletic clothing brands that make good quality stuff. So many. So why Gymshark is the question. Why them?
Yeah.
It's not because you see their ads more than anything.
No.
Maybe for some
maybe
people,
now
but-
we will.
Now we
right?
probably will.
They're always listening.
But so it's because of the culture they've built. And people are like, I want to be a part of that.
Oh my
and
gosh,
they wear their
it's
clothes
so
and
true.
they tag them, right?
I'm a Fabletics girl, so.
And
And it's funny because
same
I'm like,
thing,
I love
right?
Kate Hudson. She's a queen.
Yeah.
I love their quality. I love all their stuff. I just, and same thing. I think they're very like inclusive with their stuff. And yeah, I really like relate with it.
Yeah.
So
100%. So to sum up, when it comes to
Yeah.
your messaging through your video content, your photos, your overall messaging, your website, whatever, especially through videos, shift. Don't talk about what you sell, how you sell it, and why you sell it. Flip it around. Talk about why you're doing what you're doing, how you do it, and then what you're selling.
which I
Right.
think is
That'll
brilliant.
flow with
It just, it really goes with like every industry if you think about that. So yeah. And I mean, like I love that so much. And like you said, like setting that standard. And then I always say like setting the narrative too, which I love so much because you really do get to tell people what to think. And so like I coined like the Boise Socialite. That's just, nobody ever called that to me. No one's like, hey, that's that person. That's the Boise Socialite. I
Yeah.
just kind of assumed like it went with me and I vibed with it, and then I started kind of calling myself that, and I started putting it out online, and I changed my username to that. I had my hashtag in there. I started using it on all my posts, and I really just like set the narrative of like, this is what you will think in a non-manipulative way. I think you can do
Of
that
course,
with
yeah.
so many different brands, and assuming that like you know, this brand means this, or this is what I do, or like I am a high quality person, or I'm a luxury realtor, or whatever. It's because you're really putting that out there and telling people what to think as well. So
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of have to hold people's hand when it comes
you
to
do.
marketing.
Humans
right? You have to tell
naturally
people.
like to be told what to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is always
and it comes
fascinating.
across like not very good, but it's the
Yeah.
reality. Like people need to be told this is actually what you need,
Mm-hmm.
right? People think they know what they want or what they need, but 9 times out of 10 they have no clue. Which is why you have to
true.
come in and tell them like, hey, this is what you need. This is how I know you need it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So hold people's hand when it comes to your marketing as well. But marketing as a whole, guys, it's huge. Like it's massive. There's so many ways you can go about marketing yourself, creating content, doing paid advertising, organic reach, you name it. If you're first starting out, 9 times out of 10, again, it depends on the industry that you're in. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
But I would say 9 times out of 10, if you're fresh starting your business, you got to network. You got to put in the
Yes.
hard footwork, go out there, meet new people, right? Then work on your social media, right? Start bringing in some capital, start making some money, and then go ham on your social media.
Yeah.
Simple content ideas. Like what are some, and we'll use examples again because it varies so much across
Yeah,
different industries,
everywhere.
right?
Yeah.
Let's just say, let's say real estate agent, right? Again, because that's, I
Yeah.
think we know and work with
We
a lot
work
of
with a lot of
agents.
them,
So, say you're a real estate agent, right? What are some simple content ideas that you
Pieces.
could do a lot of? For example, podcast is great, talking head. You just
my
sit down,
gosh.
have valuable conversations, and then you cut up highlights and post it. Like that's such an easy way to make content you don't really have to think about. And it's kind of passive, right? You don't have
Yeah.
to go out and like structure like a shot list and try to shoot a skit to get like, you can do a bunch of stuff with that. So what are some other simple ideas that you think you
Such a
could
great idea.
capitalize on?
Well, and the other thing, I think I mentioned it earlier too, is just really finding those pain points. And so if they're an existing agent, they've probably gone through a few years, 2-3 years, and they've probably gone through like some struggles or issues or messy deals. I literally say start just like brain dumping onto a piece of paper of like all the things that you're like, man, I really wish somebody would have known this. I wish they would have known that. And whether that is a piece of, you know, like a graphic or photo or whatever, it could even just be a video of you literally explaining. And this is the easiest thing you can do because you went through it, you know the answer, and you know it's something that people obviously don't know because it's happened. It's been an issue. And so that's something big. And if you're a brand new agent, you basically went through 2 weeks of aggressive training on how to be a realtor and all the issues and basically how to stay out of trouble. Well, you didn't know that before, and most of the general public doesn't know that either. You literally have content right there of, hey, let me go through and educate you guys on what this means, or the inspection or easements or whatever it is within real estate. There's so many different ways of getting that content that is just really quick off the bat of either knowledge of what you've already gone through or the knowledge you just got handed. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then obviously like highlighting different people that are going to be your partners. It's really nice not to be the expert in everything. I think that you should delegate or at least let people do their job. And so if you're a realtor, I mean, you can look at like lending. There's a ton of lenders and say like, hey, like jump on a video, jump on a podcast, whatever with me. And let's educate them on, you know, a product or how that works or the process. Because most of us don't know how,
Yeah.
you know.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
huge right there. Like collaborating with people, especially with
gosh.
Instagram's new feature. Like
Yes.
it's free and it's so simple, but it's so lucrative. And it's insane how like it's such a simple concept, but
Yeah.
getting together with local like friends or experts within the similar industry that you can collaborate with, make a cool piece of content or several, and then post it. But what's that called? Like collaboration?
I think it's the collaboration tool.
It's a feature where instead of just tagging them, you both post it. So instead of saying Rich K Films and then tagging Boise Socialite, it'll be like Boise Socialite with Rich K Films, and it goes to both of our feeds, utilizing both of our audiences.
Yes.
Right. So a strategic way you could go about that is, again, same thing. Figure out who locally has the same audience that I want.
Yes.
Right. And then reach out to them, be like, hey, I'm going to offer you some free content, right? Come on. If you have a podcast, come on, sit down. We'll have a good conversation and I'll pump out a couple edits for you that we can both utilize, right?
So true.
And then it helps both people. You have valuable conversations. It doesn't take a bunch of work. And you're getting access to all these different people's social
network and sphere,
networks, you know what I mean? Which is insane. So that's a great, super lucrative opportunity as well for really quick organic growth. It's
so true. I actually, this is totally not off topic. It was a topic like not that long ago with us. So I actually always tell people like you can post, and I'm sorry I swear so much I say stuff, but I basically say you can post like the most kick-ass content on the planet.
Yeah.
You can beep that out. But basically, you can do that all day long, and it could be amazing. I mean, you could be doing stories, IGTV, you could be doing reels, you can do all this stuff, right? But if you're not engaging with anybody, just like you said, network hard. I literally dedicate 45 minutes most mornings. I try to do it every morning. Sometimes I don't get to pure engagement. And that is it. I am not posting. I'm not doing anything. I'm getting on there. I'm responding to stories. I'm liking and commenting on posts authentically. It's not just like 3 emojis.
Of course.
I mean, sometimes I do, but I'm like, whatever. But in general, like my primary engagement is going on there, responding to my stories, commenting and liking on different posts. I also search hashtags and locations that are within my sphere, right? So I can search, like Boise Socialite is a thing, Boise bucket list, all these other places, and even like Boise or Eagle or even, the Village. And I start engaging with those people too, because those are people I haven't touched. And I have high hopes that maybe they'll see and they'll be like, oh, who's this Caitlin lady? Come over to my profile, jump on there and be like, hey, we can kind of relate. And we literally start building this relationship online. So it is like the best type of networking, and it'll only literally help your stuff grow.
Yeah, for sure.
I cannot stress engagement enough.
That's massive. Most people don't really think about that. They just think, I got to make my posts, maybe reply to a couple comments that people make on that post. But that's huge too. So let's talk about that as well. So I think people have a decent idea now of the foundation of making good content, and just gotta be consistent posts. Just get out there, right? They understand the collaboration, like get together with local other people in your same sphere, stuff like that, right? Let's talk a little bit about how to gain more of a following and distribution methods organically. Because paid ads, like obviously, people know about that. Like just freaking feed it money, and for the most part, if you target correctly, you're going to get in front of people because you're paying for it. Organically, though, like you just touched on, there's the collaboration. Those are ways to get in front of more audiences and attract them. So if you're just posting on your channel, like your Instagram, you just make posts, you got 200 followers. If you put in the right hashtags, over time, you might grow a little bit.
People are going to see it.
But what are the most lucrative ways to actually increase your following, of not just increase your following, but actually increase your following with valuable people and make a community? What are different methods you think for that?
So obviously that was actually a checklist I had a coach way back in the day give me, and that was really cool. Just going through and just being like, this is what you need to be doing every day. And that was like literally searching my hashtags and, searching my locations, all that jazz, which is awesome. Like I totally encourage every one of my clients to do that. The other part is we are massive consumers on everything, but primarily social media. So you actually won't typically see me messing around on any platform. Every now and then I'll jump on TikTok because I want some humor, but I don't just sit and scroll anymore. I've actually turned it into any time I get on any platform, whether it's Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, because we tend to just kind of open them up. And I encourage people to kind of set times and when they're going to. And I think Instagram actually has a feature now where you can actually limit your stuff. The moment, and I taught myself how to do this, is I open up Instagram, I have to engage. And so it kind of comes to the point where you're not just consuming anymore. You're actually going through and you're like, I got to work now.
So it's no longer a mindless surf that you just do when you're bored, but now it's strategic and you're actually doing it with a purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
It crushes me when people are like, I don't have time for social media. And I go, no, if you have any one of those apps on your phone, I know that you go through it. I know you scroll through it. Stop scrolling, literally go, and please start engaging.
Yeah. You know what's funny? So for the people that are watching right now, a lot of them are probably thinking, I don't have time to do social media, right? So let's break it down in a very simple way, in a quantifiable, tangible way that you can't argue with, right? let's think about this for a second. So if you go to your settings in your phone, iPhone, which most people have. I don't know about Android. Go to your iPhone settings, go to screen time, right? You can see your daily average.
Oh, yeah.
You can see what apps you're actually utilizing the most. So let's think about this for a second. You click on here, see all activity. You can see all the different apps you're on. My most used app is Instagram, right? Go figure. You click on the app, and you can see your daily average, how many notifications you get. It breaks down how much time you're spending on Instagram. So that tells you exactly, right? Averaging right now, I'm averaging about, go back
I'd
here.
say mine wouldn't be a great number because I actually manage other people's social media.
Oh, yeah.
But
so
if
yours
I
is
were
probably
able
pretty
to track
but
mine, it's not as much as you would think. It's so minor. Like,
Interesting,
it's
yeah.
so funny because I just get on there and I want to engage. Like, it's my community, and then I post, and especially after you post. I cannot stress that enough either. Engage in your morning. Like, if you're going to do it, you don't need to post every day. I say like 3 to 5 times a week of an actual post. Stories, you should be doing minimally 5 daily is what I tell people.
Say that again real quick. Just say all that again.
Yeah, so Instagram, and this is purely Instagram for me. Facebook, other ones, it just doesn't work the same. But yeah, so 3 to 5 times a week of posts, and then stories daily. And I say minimally 5. They're easy to do, I promise. Like, sometimes I'm not the best at it, but I try my damnedest to, because
those can be just resharing other people's posts. You could make something quick, like a selfie video on your phone. Those could be anything, because they only live for 24 hours. You know what I mean? So
it's just that quick behind the scenes, and especially if you can put your face on there, like 10 times better. And add your captions. Add your captions on there. It's a little thing. If you don't, people I think that, like, just because we're like entrepreneurs, people don't realize that other people that work a 9 to 5 don't have their sound on. Half the time, I don't have my sound on. So when people are watching stories or even videos, it's on silent. So if you are not putting your captions on there, which is one little option on your Instagram story, on every single one of them, you can adjust the size, the style, whatever. You're literally missing a massive audience, and people are clicking right past it. And that is a straight up statistic you can look online. It is mind blowing.
Oh, snap.
So add your captions, do your daily stories. That's major. I think stories on Instagram and Facebook are big. And then 3 to 5 times weeks of actual posting. But then after you do an actual post, not just a story, just like a regular post, and I do this on LinkedIn, Twitter, I'm everywhere because I'm a nerd, but just get on there and engage for like 5 minutes. And it could just be people within your sphere. It could be the regular stories that you're watching, or being super strategic of finding those hashtags or locations, because you can, search all of those on there. And then just get really, really diligent. It's a little bit trickier for dudes. I will say that. If I were to jump on there as a woman, I could be like, oh my God, love that dress. Or, girl, you look amazing.
See, if I tell that to guys, that's a little
right. Or even if you tell it to girls, they're going to be like, who's this creeper?
Yeah.
Like, and I block
100%.
people daily. And so just because there's always like this, people always get freaked out whenever they go public on their Instagram.
For sure.
I'm like, I block people every single day, all the time.
Every day?
Every day.
You block
I
people
could
every
show
day?
you my block list. It is
Holy
mind-blowing.
cow.
Because you'll see like these weird profiles, or all the ones with like all those like random emojis in their bios, or 4 posts and they have 20,000 followers. I'm like, nah, like this is definitely a bot. So I actually clear out my followers a lot. And it's easy to do. Look at see who's following you, or if you go on your first story, you can kind of scroll through and you'll see the ones that say, get 20,000 followers, or, you make so much money, blah, blah, blah. I just block them there.
Yeah.
So
on that real quick, is I don't know if you've heard this before, is follower to following ratio a thing? Is that important?
Still
Does that matter?
such what do they call it? Vanity metrics. It is such a
I feel
thing.
like it kind of is.
I'm actually curious about this. So I have just over like 7,000 followers, and I've worked like really hard to like build that community, right? I feel like I have a lot of people that we actually engage and comment.
And on that, hold that thought.
Yeah,
on that, that's actually really important, because I think a lot of people would hear 7,000 and be like, oh, that's a decent amount.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But here's the thing, guys. Those 7,000 followers are actual people that actually care about her content, what she's putting out, and are actually engaging with. Because I bet your engagement rate's great. Yeah. It's fantastic, right? So here's the thing. A lot of people out there buy followers. We know a lot of people do, right? Don't stop it.
Yes.
But here's the thing too. If you got 10,000 followers and maybe you didn't buy them, maybe they are, but your engagement rate is like 0.5%, that means nothing. That means nothing.
Yeah.
But if you have 7,000 followers and you have a fantastic engagement rate, that is far more valuable than somebody that has a lot more a bigger following with less engagement rate. Engagement rate is what's valuable. That's what matters.
So true. So right? Whenever people are like that follow, like I have people that have 500 or 600 followers, but dude, everyone comments on their stuff and their story views are high. And I'm like, you're in the sweet spot. Like, embrace that. And this is the one I want to touch on is I feel like, I get to the point where if I get past like a 10K, like am I going to lose that community feel? Am I going to feel untouchable? Am I going to feel to the point where if somebody sent me a DM, I'm not going to respond back? Like, I'm always like curious about that, because sometimes I find myself looking at other brands that have a boatload of followers and being like, oh, I'm just going to be like another follower. They're not going to care about me. And I think it's such a silly thing. And maybe it's just like my own brain, but I am kind of curious to see where that goes. Because I think that, yes, more followers is amazing if they are engaging with you.
Well, that makes total sense. Like I have some friends, I'm not going to name, but I know I have some friends that really care about their follower count.
Yeah.
That's what they really care about. They're like, I want to have a ton of followers. I want to be like a celebrity, right? Everybody wants to be famous. Everybody wants to be a celebrity. Dude, I would value that all day long. Like you thinking, the fact that you say that, I almost don't want more than 10,000 followers because I want to lose that community feeling.
I don't want to lose that. Like, I still want to be like that person that I feel like I can influence and love on my community. But yeah, I definitely hear you like that. And the reason we all wanted 10K before was that freaking swipe up, dude. We wanted the link option in our story. Up. And then they give it to us after how long have we been asking? And I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm sitting right where I want to be right now. Like, if I don't grow, I mean, of course I want to like build my community more, but like, I'm good, and you even mentioned earlier, like a micro or a macro, what are they? I don't know the tiers of the influencers. Like
micro influencer.
Micro, okay.
I don't know what the actual number is.
Yeah, right, of the thing. And so I just
influencer's a very subjective word. So.
It's all very, very true, very true. So, but yeah, I definitely, I think that people need to focus on that engagement. And I've even had my clients right now with account management, and I was pulling numbers, even though I kind of like to do it quarterly, not like monthly, because I think that's when it's really true. And I was getting ecstatic at the amount of shares and comments and the actual, I mean, they have like the engagement rate on there, and the amount of profile views and link clicks, and that stuff is like magic to me versus, oh yeah, well, we did get another like 30 followers, cool, but this other stuff, this is where that like the magic happens. So and you build that community and you feel trusted and people want to comment and they come back to your profile, which is also something when I say post daily stories. I mean, I hate to say it, but you really are kind of going into, it's like a psychology thing, but you really are going in and you're making them want to see your stories all the time because you're always consistent in posting. And when you don't post, they're like, oh, like, where's that person? And then you kind of fade away, out of sight, out of mind. So that daily story gets people in the habit of consistently seeing you and knowing what to expect and building that relationship.
Yeah. 100%. This is gold. This is fantastic.
Oh
There's so many things we can pull from this for like our Instagrams and like the full podcast as well. And YouTube is going to be so good. Like if you guys are watching this whole thing on YouTube, like take this value and implement it, because here's what I hate is when people like will listen to podcasts or they'll read a book and they'll be like, yeah, it's a really good book, or they'll have a good meeting and they'll be all motivated and they don't do shit with it.
They don't
go out and apply and implement it. Guys,
been there.
Do you realize like this value is insane? I mean, you're literally being given the playbook, the tools at hand on how to scale your business and build your following and how to do it the right way. Yes, it is a consistency game. It is a long-term game. This does not happen overnight. Heck, it doesn't even happen within a couple months. Maybe if you're really lucky, but highly doubt it, right? This is a long play game, but keep this in mind. That is what separates you from anybody else. That resilience, the fact that you're going to stick with it and you're going to continue doing it over time and you're going to build that following that matters. That's why 99% of people don't make it in whatever industry they do or whatever business they try to start. Most businesses fail. And this is one of the many reasons why that's the case. Stay resilient, stay relentless, and just continue on this, guys. Like, just make content, put it out there. Think about these key things that we're talking about, implement it, and it'll be game over for you. That I can guarantee.
So true.
Yeah, Caitlin, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for hopping on here.
Yeah,
of course.
This is so awesome.
I'm get you on
so
here another point for sure.
Please.
Yeah, so thanks again, guys, for watching the #1 podcast in the universe. So we'll have enjoy your day. We'll chat you guys later. And
that's great.
Kill it in your social media. Kill it in life. Boom. Done.
Tag us.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll put her Instagram bio right here or link right here. Go ahead and follow her. Caitlin, if you're not already, if you're not following me, that's weird. I don't know why you're not following both of us right now.
You're missing out on a lot of cat stories, so it's fine.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
Love it.